Ain't nothing like some coffee in the, oh my God, my mother was right about everything mug. Isn't that the truth? Hello everyone, welcome back to the 30-day at-home handstand challenge. We are wrapping up phase 2 of our learning in strengthening those shoulders, working on the handstands against the wall. Today is gonna be a fun one. Today is gonna be a bit of endurance work, and then next week we're jumping into the balance work. So for today, we need some wall space again. If you wanna go the extra mile, and if you're feeling brave and confident, then we're gonna use a door frame for this exercise today. I'll explain it more later once we get into the skill work, but find a space for your warm-up and let's get started. Warm-up today, it's gonna be a little different than what we've done in the past. I'm not gonna lead you guys through a warm-up. What I want you to try is I want you to do your own warm-up today. If you've been following since the start, you've done 4 sessions already as we're in session 5 now. Take what you found has been most helpful in sessions 1 through 4 and do that for the warm-up today. Let's make sure we get wrist stretching, wrist strength, and some shoulder work in there. Take whatever pieces you found have been most beneficial, that have helped the training practice the most, and incorporate that into your own warm-up. Spend anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes getting the body ready, and then we'll jump into the skill practice. All right, skill practice for today, guys. We're gonna start with the challenge, and then we're gonna get into the endurance work. I wanna do the challenge first when you're fresh, when you're feeling ready, and then we're gonna do the actual skill practice after, because if we do it the other way around, your shoulders are gonna be a little tired. We're gonna take it back to the first challenge that we did in trying to do the longest handstand that we can on the floor. Hopefully, from the work that you've put in, we're now gonna be able to get a new record. So let's take 5 attempts on your hands to try to get the longest handstand that you can. When we were on the hands, we worked on walking a little bit last day and understanding where the body is and how to save the handstand. When it was falling backwards, walking forwards or walking backwards, and then when it's falling the other way, walking the other way, like when we're balancing that stick. That was the analogy that I was using. So when we're on the hands, if we're balancing in the hands, we want to be very aware of where our weight is and where our weight is going. If I feel that the weight is moving closer to my fingertips, that means I'm gonna be falling that way. If I feel the weight is moving closer towards the wrist, closer towards the base of the palm, then it's gonna end up making me go the other way. And the more we can be aware of that weight, the easier handstands are gonna be. So play around, let's do some handstands, walk around. I clearly have not warmed up yet because I'm all over the place today, but anyways, see what you can get, see if you can get a new record, and then let's jump into the skill work. It's gonna be a fun one today. Now, if you're following these videos as they're coming out, you're gonna be watching this on a Friday. If you're not doing that, well, where you been? Today's Friday, so what we're gonna be doing is one of the things that I used to do earlier on in my training, which I called 5-Minute Friday. Now, I did this on the floor, but today we're gonna do this on a wall or using another implementation, but we'll get to that shortly. So 5-Minute Friday is 5 minutes total of handstand work. You can break this up in any way that you want. We're gonna go against the wall, or I'm gonna show you a toes to bar handstand, one of my favorite, absolute favorite handstand exercises. And all you're gonna do is you're gonna go up into the handstand and you're gonna start counting. You're gonna go for as long as you can. When you come down, take a break, only enough to recover, no secondary work today, and then get right back into it. Option 1 is just working against the wall. Handstand, walk in, and then toes together with a nice shape. Don't forget about that shape when you guys are working on long holds. We're ingraining the position into our brain, so we wanna make sure that we're doing this correctly. Shoulders tall, ribs lifted, bum tight, legs squeezed, toes pointed in together. Now, if you're feeling a little bit more brave, this one's my favorite handstand drill. This was one thing that I did with my competitive athletes a lot, and it yielded a really, really good result. So This is a toes to bar handstand, and how we would do it in the gymnastics center is we would set the parallel bars to a point where when the athlete would reach up, if they were stood on the floor underneath the bars, when they reached up as tall as they absolutely could with their arms, they would just be able to get about the knuckle of where the finger was onto the bar. We'd maybe sometimes go to about halfway down the finger. So that's where the bar would be, so they'd fully have to reach up to the bar. Here's where it's fun. If I can stand on the ground and reach all the way up and touch the bar, but if when I kick up to the handstand, I miss the bar, what does that tell you? That tells you you're not in a straight position, or you're not fully stretching through the shoulders. In order to stay up, you have to maintain a proper position. Now, it's tricky to do at home, so we're gonna try it in a door frame. Now, you can measure up. You might be like me, you might be already taller than the door frame. If you're not taller than the door frame, stack something underneath it so that when you're stood directly under the door, and when you reach up, you're just getting the knuckles or the middle of the fingers to get to the corner of that door frame, to the top of that door frame. Put something behind it, or make sure it's clear behind it so that if you do miss it, you're not doomed and falling onto your back. Be safe, set it up in a way that you're not gonna get hurt. Or if you have someone around, get them to stand on the other side and catch you in case you end up not grabbing it. So what it's gonna look like is we're gonna put our hands directly under the top of the door, directly in the middle of where the door frame is, so that our feet are directly over top of our hands. That's really, really important. So we're going hands down, right underneath that door frame, maybe a little bit back so you can fall into the door just a little bit, and then you kick up, and look, we're on the door here. So I'm too tall for this situation. My feet are just right underneath the door. In a perfect world, you'd be reaching really tall. You'd have to point your toes, squeeze your legs. You'd have to keep everything perfectly straight in order to stay in this position. Now, if you can get your feet under like me though, this is also okay because I can push into the door and I can hold my body nice and tall. So that's gonna be our exercise today. We got 5 minutes total. 5-minute Friday of handstand work. Good luck, and I'll see you guys next week. That's gonna be everything for today, guys. Thanks so much for joining as we're doing this 30-day handstand challenge together. As always, tag me in your work on Instagram, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys all next week as we start to get onto those hands and we learn how to balance in the handstand. Hope you guys are doing well. See you later. Peace.